past the commentary point is the 1942 Indian 741B Indian Scout, built for the military. Number 67 past the commentary point, the 1967 BSA B40 motorcycle. This bike was released from military service in June 1960. Three motorbikes, and they've now been replaced by Can-Am Hondas and Harley Davidson B4. And number 40 there's the 1943 Royal Enfield. We've seen the Mechanical Mouse, and now we've got the Flying Flea. It's a lightweight motorcycle developed by Royal Enfield for the British War Office. Rio N35A2 troop carrier, built as a replacement for the wartime GMC 6x6 truck. As most American vehicles are, it's powered by a massive turbocharged diesel engine. And number 68, the little Lancing Bagnall aircraft tug, built in 1940. Lancing Bagnall were originally a British forklift truck manufacturer, but they produced all sorts of little industrial tractors over the years. And this tug was used, this is the Forward Control 101 in its ambulance version. The 101s were designed specifically for the British Army, and this one carries an ambulance body which was built by Marshall Aerospace at Cambridge. This particular one saw service in the First Gulf War. Again designed for the British War Office, and 65,995 examples have been built by the end of the Second World War. It's fitted with a 3.5 litre 6-cylinder petrol engine and has been restored and presented today in the markings of 299 Squadron RAF Keevil. And that's owned and exhibited by Peter Bold from Shepton Mallet. Into the ring in any order. We jump right back in time now for exhibit number 2. This is the 1955 Series 1 short wheelbase Land Rover, presented in the markings of number 1 Parachute Balloon Training Company, based at Cardington between 1950 and 1955. And this vehicle has been owned for many years by Barry Lacey from Somerton. Is another Bedford NW. This one was built in 1943. And as I say, there were thousands of these trucks built during the Second World War, and they appeared with lots of different body styles, including a water tanker, wartime ones, but they were 24 volt and fitted with a different engine. This one was a radio reconnaissance jeep and was purchased by the owner from the French Army in 1998, with the ambulance body, again built by Marshalls of Cambridge. These vehicles were produced from 1964 and saw the introduction of 2 high-level rails which were fitted to take collapsible stretchers in the back. With the RAF in Eastern England, it spent a number of years rotting as an advertising board in a builder's yard. And it's been restored by the current owners, Philip and Jacqueline Johnson from St Helier in Jersey. International Harvester produced around 13,600 M4 half-tracks at its Springfield facility from 1942 to January 1944. And this one's comprehensively armoured with machine guns and a large mortar. Jeep. This is a 1943 Ford GPW. It was exported to Great Britain as part of the US Army's build-up prior to the D-Day of the British Army until the late 50s, when it was sold off into private hands. The Jeep was re-imported into the UK in 2004, where it underwent a full restoration. It's displayed here today in the markings of the US 3rd Army, 33rd. And number 96 is the 1945 AEC Matador. These were built as artillery tractors by the Associated Equipment Company for the British and Commonwealth forces. About 9,000 were built, some going to the Royal Air Force, but for the British Army it fulfilled a role within the Yates of Bolton. It was unused for many years and fell into a derelict state and was rescued in 2001. And that's owned by Phil Bennett from Gillingham. Ford GPW. This Jeep was shipped to the UK in October 1942 and was in the British Army until April 1959. It's displayed here today in the livery of the 6th Green Howards and is owned by Andrew Craig from Bournemouth. It's some of the final lorries of British manufacture that were used by the British Army. This is a 1992 Leyland DAF, model T244, owned by Ian Bridge from Southend-on-Sea. Interesting little vehicle this. It's a successor to the wartime Daimler Dingo. They are permanent four-wheel drive, but with a 5-speed pre-selector gearbox, with the capability of use of all 5 gears in forward. These were delivered to the British Army, starting in 1989, with an initial order for 1,000 vehicles. Production ceased in 1993. They were fitted with various body types, from a standard utility vehicle to put in the ring, and this again is slightly different. This is a 1952, it's a Series 1 Land Rover. Has been in the same family for very many years. Exhibited there with the radio sets and indented. And number 14 is the 1953 Scamel Explorer heavy recovery truck. This one's military history is unknown, but in its civilian life it operated in the Doncaster and Nottingham areas. Old yellow and blue paint found beneath it, indicated that it may have been used for transportation by a circus or fairground. Now these big heavy wreckers replaced the wartime Scamel Pioneers, which were a 4x2 drive. This one is 6x6. Originally fitted with a very thirsty Meadows petrol engine, invariably once they entered civilian service, where they were very popular, they immediately were fitted with a more economical diesel engine. Well, that's not. Following on with number 56, which is say the predecessor, or a model of the predecessor to the Explorer. This is a Scamel Pioneer. This one is exhibited in its gun tractor version. Lovely vehicle there. And these were originally, and this one is still fitted with its Gardner diesel engine. And they were used to haul the really big, heavy artillery pieces. And this is owned by David Hodges from Bristol. Been with us for many years. This is a Series 2A. And is fitted with a full radio layout, so worth going to have a look in the back when he's back in the section. And this example served in Germany until 1985. And this is part of a selection of vehicles that have come down to us all the way from Aberdeen, courtesy of Grant Davidson. So I'd like to thank him very much for bringing them down. And again, I say this is one of the Ford Jeeps, and that's followed by another of Grant's vehicles, and this is a Willys Jeep. again a 1942 build. And you know, many thousands of these Jeeps were built during the Second World War. I think it's a vehicle that a lot of people know. And then we've got number 115, again one from Grant's collection, and this time this is one of the French-built Hotchkiss Jeeps. We have number 53, big 1944 Maiden Tipper. So the biggest general service truck used by the British Army at the time, rated at 10 tonnes, and this one was used by the Royal Ordnance Corps for transportation of stores and ammunition to the front line. And on we go. Getting it up to date again now. This is the 1981 Bedford TM cargo truck. It's a 4x4 8-ton vehicle. Again, developed to fulfill a British Army requirement issued in the 1970s. To meet these requirements, Bedford competed against Bowden and Leyden. In 1977, Bedford was awarded the contract for 2099. The wartime version of that truck. This is the 1943 GMC CCKW 353 troop cargo carrier. Rated at 2.5 tonnes. It's a 6x6 truck with a 6-cylinder petrol engine and owned by Richard Sparks from Berwick St John. The Militant with an office body, and as you can see the sides of the vehicle extend out to give more room for officers, radio equipment, etc. inside. Again, 6x6 truck, massive, I think around about 11 litre diesel engine in it. And very interestingly, no power steering. So now back to our wartime era vehicles. This is the 1942 Bedford QL command truck. So up the front there we've got the Militant, again with the office body, and behind it we've got its wartime equivalent, the radio office body on it. And that's owned by Jeff Wade, again from Lechley. Number 30, an interesting little load carrying platform here. This is the Law Fardier. These rugged little four-wheel drive vehicles were built for the French military. It's lightweight and intended to be used by airborne troops. A large cargo plane can carry and launch 6, and could also be parachuted into the front line. The automobile boots. And number 39 is 1953 Thornycroft Big Ben tractor unit. This ex-military 6x4 general service tractor unit semi-trailer was part of a lithographic unit. That appears to be the end of our display of wheeled vehicles. There'll be a short pause while we rearrange the fencing and things to keep you safe, and then we'll put some of our tracked vehicles into the ring to do you a little display as well. Here comes personnel carrier, the 1944 Universal Carrier, commonly referred to as the Bren Gun Carrier. It's powered by a Ford V8 flathead engine, and it was used to tow anti-aircraft artillery guns and transport stores and personnel under light armour to the front line, and also a limited reconnaissance role. that's quite a rare piece of equipment. And again, that's one of the vehicles brought down all the way from Aberdeen by Grant Davidson. As they refer to Bren gun carrier, their armament was the Bren gun, and in the early years, what was called a boys' anti-tank rifle perhaps, and the Enfield rifles for the crew, Sten guns, etc. Very versatile little vehicle, but and as I say, something that's unique to the British Army. 1974. This is where the British Army went from wheeled reconnaissance vehicles such as the Ferret to a bigger vehicle with tracks as a reconnaissance vehicle and relatively heavily armoured with aluminium armour, which was one of the first uses of aluminium armour on this type of vehicle. It's powered by this particular one has got a diesel engine. Most of the CDRTs were powered by Jaguar petrol engine. This is one of the ones that was converted in its later life and upgraded. The armament is a quick-firing 30mm Radon cannon, which was capable of penetrating quite thick armour, so it had quite a sting to it. It's really nice there to see a couple of vehicles. And now we have going around the ring. This is the FV-180 Combat Engineer Tractor. Now, interestingly enough, this particular vehicle is amphibious. This piece of specialised armour produced the British Army, and it's been in general service since 1976. Preparing river banks for vehicle crossings, so it's a very useful bit of kit. It's tracked, lightly armoured, and the two crews sit in tandem positions on the left-hand side of the vehicle, each with a set of driving controls facing in opposite directions. The larger moving bucket fitted at what is actually the rear of the vehicle, and it's also fitted with a rocket-propelled anchor on a 100-metre hawser attached to an 8-ton winch, which can be fitted to the front. When operated from the rear seat, the bucket is used for earth moving and digging gun pits, etc. And it's just going to change from one position to the other, just to show you how it operates in the 8 directions. When operating from the front, as he is now, it can be driven on the road, and the anchor can be used to pull the engineer tractor up steep obstacles such as riverbanks. The amphibious propulsion is provided by 2 Doughty water impellers, one mounted on each side of the vehicle and controlled by the commander in the rear seat, facing forwards. The water jets are used to steer the vehicle when swimming, and this is with the use of movable cowls directing the flow of water. It's powered by a Rolls-Royce C60 FR 320 horsepower engine, and is at a top speed of 35 miles per hour on the road and 8 knots in the water. And weighs 17.5 tons. And so it is exhibited by Andy Law, a member of the North London Barley Army in Norman. and the first vehicle in there. This is the original member of the CVRT range. This is a Scorpion light tank, built as a replacement really for the wheeled Saladin armoured car, and mounting a 76mm gun in the turret. So for a small vehicle, something with a big bite, 76mm gun is the same calibre as a Sherman tank had fitted during the Second World War. And this vehicle really was designed as a reconnaissance vehicle, not to have a stand-up fight with any other armour, but I say it still has the sting in the tail. These are members of the Combat Vehicle Reconnaissance Track range, built by Alvis. And you've got the Scorpion, and following that, number 84, this is a Scimitar. Same basic vehicle, but Scorpion with the 76mm gun, the Scimitar with the 30mm Radon cannon, as we saw on the earlier display from Grant, quick firing gun. And both these vehicles are powered by the Jaguar petrol engine. Aluminium armoured vehicles, so fairly lightweight, and again very manoeuvrable and agile vehicles. Now, both these vehicles are owned by Andy Moore from Blandford. Andy is doing a collection today for blind veterans, and we have someone just walking around the arena with a bucket if you'd like to put in a donation. As you know, Andy always puts on a good display for us every year, his vehicles. As I say, we haven't got a huge space here, so we can't show you the true potential of these vehicles, but I can assure you, they are very quick and very agile. Missile launchers.
Thank you.
And they've served with the British Army for many years, been through various upgrades, served in both Gulf Wars and on peacekeeping duties in various places around the world. Trying to have a little competition so you can, the drivers can balance on the top of the hub. As I say, we are taking a collection for Blind Veterans Charity. So pitched him generously. Andy's
How far is it away from the
There with the Scorpion in the middle there, you can see I've just done a demonstration. The type of gearbox fitted to the Scorpion, you can do what's called a neutral turn, where they can virtually just spin on the spot. And that just about concludes our parade for today. One last thing. Over in the section there where the orange light is flashing, we have a large Chieftain ARV. Unfortunately we can't bring it into the ring, but just as a demonstration, if all goes well, we're just going to fire the engine up. So it will be noisy and a bit smoky, but it'll just give you an idea of what they sound like. Chieftain has got quite a unique sound from its engine, which is a Leyland L60 6-cylinder engine, but 12 pistons. It's a horizontally opposed piston engine. Originally they were designed as multi-fuel engines, but as with most multi-fuel engines for the MOD, they were inevitably run on diesel. So if all goes according to plan,
got on the truck, guys. There's a rat on the truck.
Yeah, you still see them rolling around. Yeah, that's down past Shillingstone, isn't it?
Yeah.
Strikes 11, and now going to hand over to Captain John McClellan of the Royal Signals White Helmets. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As you heard there, my name is Captain John McClellan, and this morning I have the honour and the privilege of presenting to you the Royal Signals Motorcycle Display Team, the White Helmets. Now, before we start our display, I do have a couple of safety announcements. Whilst the guys are highly trained and highly skilled in what they do, sometimes accidents can happen. So to that end, if you see a motorcycle coming towards you with a rider who is looking very panicked, or in fact no rider whatsoever, I just ask you to keep your wits about you, and should anything happen, please do not feel like you need to get involved, as we do have trained medical staff on hand, and they will deal with any situation should it arise. I also notice there are a few dogs around, there are loud noises, there are bangs, so please make sure they're on their leads and they're kept in control, because we don't want them running across our field. I'll now look over to Sergeant Arnold to see if the guys are ready to start. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a huge round of applause there for the White Helmets. Formed back in 1927, this is the 90th season for the team. Sadly, it is our final season, but it means that you lucky people get to see us for one final time before the team is disbanded and my riders go back to the regular army. So we're going to start today's display with a quick little warm-up lap, just to get the bikes nice and warm, just get my riders nice and warmed up, and just to make sure they get a feel for this arena. Being laid out there by Sergeant Arnold and Corporal Ascot, as I said, they're going to do a quick little loop, and then they're going to start some of their very quick and very close crossovers. So once they hit their centre of the arena, they'll give a quick little nod, and they go their separate ways. Now, using these cones around the outside of the arena, each one of my riders will be looking over his shoulder at all times to make sure his partner is exactly where he should be. Then they hit that one out and accelerating to get as close as they possibly can. Once again, I'll look over those shoulders, make sure he is where he should be before they accelerate on these classic 750cc engines. Now, I think they're warmed up. I think we're going to make that angle a little bit quicker, a little bit tighter this time, so they're going to cut in between those markers as they come to that final cut. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as my riders form up to move back in, how about we have a big round of applause there for my opening riders? Now, marching out smartly in the far corner, you will see Corporal Paul Day. Corporal Matthew, they are going to perform our very first trick, known as the double jimmy. Now the jimmy is based on Mercury, the messenger god, and is what we all wear on our uniforms to mark us out to be communication soldiers and officers. And these two guys here are using perfect balance. And a huge amount of strength there for Corporal Matthew, because the weight of both those riders is going through his left leg. And I'm sure you can appreciate it does take a huge amount of balance, especially on these fields, to make sure he doesn't drop on his head. Which thankfully today he doesn't. Alright, next we have one of our first year tricks, known as the Angel. This has been ridden by Sick Green. Now Sick Green will set the speed on the motorcycle, and then he'll stand up, and he'll steer it around. I say this is one of our first year tricks. He is one of our second year riders, but he makes it look so easy when he goes around, doesn't he? But I can tell you, a lot of the tricks you'll see today look easy, however, they're not. Coming out next, we have one of our first year riders, Sick Timmins. He's the one who stood up there. On the tank we have Sergeant Wynn, both performing the trick known as the Swallow. Now for this trick, Sick Timmins will set that speed, and then using two plates on the side of the motorcycle, he'll steer it around, very much like a skier. And again, it takes a huge amount of balance. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you look into the centre of the arena, you will see two of my most disposable, my least liked white helmets, lying underneath our human jump boards, ready to receive 200 to 300 kilograms. Each one of these courageous and brave board holders. Under the watchful eye of Lance Corporal Ryan there, they prepare to take the bites as they come on through. A quick little thumbs up there, just to make sure the board holders are okay as the bikes come round to another pass. Once again, they hit those white markers, they accelerate on to get in between those marks. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when we re-race before our final jump, I'm just going to let you know about the Black Peak. Now, the Black Peak is the thing that the rider who last dropped one of our classic Triumph motorcycles, and allowed those precious handlebars to touch the floor. It is the thing that he has to wear. It is the mark of shame that rider has to wear. He is on the field today. So see if you can spot him as he comes down. So ladies and gentlemen, as my riders come back to the final jump, how about we have a big round of applause there for my jumpers. And more importantly, ladies and gentlemen, how about we have a huge round of applause for my brave and strong board holders as well. The hanging ladder. Been ridden here by Corporal Clark, he's the man on the front of the bike. Then we have Sick Green, who's bravely hanging upside down. Now our bikes come in two different types. They're all Triumph motorcycles, all Tiger motorcycles. However, some of them are trick bikes. They are slightly different from a normal ride bike in the sense that they have no suspension, they have extra brackets, and they have sticky throttles that allow the riders to be able to remove their hands and perform tricks as you're being shown today. Next up, moving into the arena, is the trick known as the 14s. This is actually being ridden and controlled by the second man here, one of our first year riders, Sick Timmins. He's the one who's in control of the speed of the motorcycle. But clearly, once again, he sets the speed, he's got his foot on the brake, but they have to work together with perfect balance to make sure this trick doesn't fall down. Thankfully, again, they make it round today. And now coming out of our pits is our wrestling gymnast, Lance Corporal Peter, performing along with Corporal Matthew the pillion headstand. Now for anybody here who has ever tried to do a headstand, I'm sure you can appreciate quite how difficult this is. Let alone trying to do it on the ground, he's now doing it on a motorcycle with no suspension on a very bumpy field. So ladies and gentlemen, how about we have a big round of applause there for our pillion headstand, who you can see bumping along as he's going there, but with good core strength, he makes himself stay up. Coming up next, you'll have one of our smaller shared bike tricks, known as the 2-bike fan. Now this is something that any of the guys who have come on our selection course, they learned this just after a couple of weeks of being with the team. Now at this point it's nice to know that there are absolutely no supports or straps holding this together. It is purely being done with the strength of the teamwork of my riders. So they are all holding each other in position, and once again they make it nice and safe for Corporal Ray on the top there. Now many of our tricks, they seem to name themselves. They're pretty obvious what they are. So when we looked at this trick, we named it the throne. Looks like Danny's in a rush because he's doing the quickest throne I think I've ever seen him do. But as every self-respecting man does when he's on the throne, he gets the magazine out and he gives it a read. And now if you look into the centre of the arena, you will see the part of the show that my insurance company absolutely hates. Because we're going to put my nice shiny wet helmet car in the centre, and we're going to save two of my bravest jumpers over the top. Now if you've got good eyes, if you've got eagle eyes, you might notice there are quite a lot of dents in the top of my car, because sometimes this doesn't quite go as according to plan. So our first jumper here, Sid Reed, he's going to set off, he's going to get to fourth gear, and as he does, ladies and gentlemen, let's give him a round of applause, bit of encouragement to make the jump. And a lovely clean jump. Now our next jumper, he thinks that's far too easy. He's going to make it a little bit more difficult, but once again we're going to put four of my most disposable white helmets underneath, and we're going to make that jump a bit longer. Now ladies and gentlemen, as I said, this sometimes doesn't go quite as according to plan, so as Corporal Angel sets off, please just give him a bit of encouragement, a bit of a round of applause, just to make sure he gets the speed to clear the jump. He's going to get the nod, he sets off, he goes to fourth gear, gets himself comfortable, he locks himself in position. And a lovely clean jump once again. Now the next trick you'll see coming out is one of our common black peak holders, because the next trick is a very difficult one you're going to see. But this trick is known as the reverse ladder. Corporal Beaver here is going to set the speed on his motorcycle, get himself comfortable, and climb up the top. But clearly he is that confident and comfortable he can wave as he's coming around. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give him a wave back, shall we? Let's give him a bit of a clap as he's coming around the top of the arena. He is taking it a little bit wide. Now the next trick you can see is known as the Cossacks. Based on that famous dance position, the Cossack, we have three riders on this motorcycle. Now this is being controlled by Corporal Mack. He just wants sat on the handlebars. Once again, he sets the speed, and just using the top of his thighs, he is steering the bike around. And as you can see from the beaming smiles of my two Cossacks on the side, they absolutely love to be in this position as they're going round. As they do, ladies and gentlemen, how about we give a bit of a round of applause as they come on in there. So we have two bikes cross over at the start. This time we're going to make it a little bit more difficult. And we're going to throw a third bike into the mix. Notice the Irish whip. This time my riders are going to work in threes. Once again using these cones around the outside to accelerate on trying to get out of the line. As fast as we can. Now this is a very dusty field, and these kind of rides do show that the braking and the acceleration of these bikes are key to the riders to get through. And clearly timing, precision is absolutely vital as they come back to the final round of stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, that is part of the display. I don't talk over that time because I love to see you all jump at one point, and thankfully you didn't disappoint. But as my riders come in, how about we have a big round of applause there for my Irish whip riders. So the next trick you're going to see is known as the Isle of Man. We brought this trick back last year for our trip to the Isle of Man, and we have 4 riders on this trick. Based on the Isle of Man flag, hopefully the guys get their legs up. Now just to make it a little bit more difficult, the man underneath, Sig Hutchinson, he can't actually see where he's going at the moment, and it takes a huge amount of skill, balance and communication from the guys above him to make sure it doesn't come down. Now it's looking a little bit ropey. And now we've only got 1/3 of the Isle of Man flag left. But ladies and gentlemen, it does demonstrate to you that this is a live show, and sometimes people do fall off. So ladies and gentlemen, how about we give a big round of applause there for my fallen rider, who of course will get up and carry on. And now if you look into the centre again, you will see our famous fire break being brought in. This is a rite of passage for any wearing helmet, and every single one of us has had to jump through the fire on a live display to earn the right to wear our white helmets. Up until that point, we all have to wear black ones, and it just marks you as somebody who's not quite finished the training, not quite earned the right to wear one. Now ladies, you may feel a little bit of heat. I know it's a nice warm day, it's even warmer in this uniform. However, you may feel a little bit of heat, and you may see a bit of smoke. But I can guarantee it's not going to be quite as hot and smoky for you guys as it is going to be for my 5 jumpers today. I'm going to watch Flight Sergeant Arnold stuff a bit of fuel to the fire just to make sure it burns properly. As we bring in the fire. So you'll notice my riders are all knocking their helmets forward to protect their pretty features as they come on through. First up we have Sig Green. So he's going to start the fire, go into second gear, stand up, lock his neck, stuck his head, make it nice and easy as he comes on through. Next up we have Lance Corporal Angel. Sig Timmins next to face the fire. Now we have Corporal Clark coming through. And then finally, Corporal Matthew, one of our experienced riders, to show the guys how it should be done. Ladies and gentlemen, how about we have a huge round of applause for my fire jumpers. And now it becomes that fun part of the display where we have to try and put the flaming rack in the centre of the arena out. So I'll just take a moment to let you know how the guys come to join us. As I said, we're all serving members of British Army, we're all Royal Signal soldiers, all bar one. Many of us have done operational tours before they've come along to the team. They then come along for a 2-week selection course. At this point, they don't even need to know what a motorcycle is, although it does tend to help. But they are taught from the very, very basics of how to start it, most importantly how to stop it, and then they're taught some of the very basic tricks. If they then show they have the right attitude and aptitude to join us, they come along for a 6-week training course. That's where they learn everything you're seeing today, and they'll go through the fire for the very first time in a live display, just up in Blandford camp, and then they earn the right to wear their coveted white helmet. So it looks like we're going to leave just a little bit burning in the centre to make things a bit more interesting as my riders come through. And the next trick you'll see coming out is known as the ladder headstand. We saw the pillion headstand being done earlier, but Corporal Dave thought that was far too easy, although he seems to be struggling somewhat. And now it looks like the bike is struggling as well. This is a 3rd time in a row, so I think someone's going to have a word. But ladies and gentlemen, as they slowly push the bike out, how about we give them a round of applause for attempting the trick anyway. Now we've had 2 bikes cross over, we've had 3 bikes cross over. My riders are going to do those crossovers, however this time they're going to do them in reverse. Now clearly the dust will get a little bit more interesting, but as my riders come across each other at the top of the field, they'll look over their shoulders just to give a nod to their partner to make sure they're okay and that their brakes are okay as they line up for another cut. Once again they hit that white marker, they accelerate on trying to get as much speed as they possibly can. As they hit that, they address the centre. Once again, a quick little nod to make sure everything's okay. You can hear the brakes screeching as they're coming past. That's usually good signs, it means they are working. And they come through to the final cut. Now ladies and gentlemen, as I said, we are all still serving members of the British Army. We are all soldiers. And as such, we like straight lines. So my riders now to show their control and skill over these motorcycles by performing a perfectly straight line down the arena. I say a perfectly straight line down the arena. However, as they do, ladies and gentlemen, how about we have a big round of applause for my reverse riders? Now, preparing for his gymnastics routine, we have Lance Corporal Perry Wilson, ready to perform the parallel bar. And of course, what else do you do when you're upside down? Hang in between two motorcycles. When you get out of the magazine, you give it a bit of a read. He might even give you a wave as he comes past there. Please wave back to him. You'll get emotional. You'll get this out of the way. But now, other than the bar, you're seeing everything's being held together by the guys. But whilst Perry doesn't look like a particularly big lad, when he's hanging upside down like that, he really is. So, ladies and gentlemen, how about we have a bit of a round of applause from there? Now, you might recognise the next position, maybe from Sports Day. But this position, or this trick, is known as the wheelbarrow. Being ridden on the front there by Corporal Hitchman, he's the one in control of the bike. But clearly, if there's any issues, he can't get his hands down because he doesn't want to drop Lance Corporal Angel. And as I mentioned earlier, there's no suspension, so it's rather bumpy for Angel here to stay in position. Now, all of my riders, they're not just trained to be riders, but they're also trained to be the mechanics of the team. And all of these bikes have been hand-built by members of the team. And they do take a huge amount of maintenance to make sure they keep going, because they do get dropped sometimes. And now the next trick is usually reserved for the member of the team who can actually juggle. So on top there we have Sig Tibbings, doing the trick known as the court jester. Now Sig Tibbings hasn't dropped any juggling balls for a while, although he's looking like he might. So ladies and gentlemen, let's add a bit of pressure, shall we? Let's give him a big round of applause. Let's make sure he gets those balls all the way in. So we've had 2 bikes cross over, we've had 3 bikes cross over, we've had my riders doing it in reverse. This time, just to add a little bit more complexity to it, we're going to add another bike in. Known as the Charlie Simon, we now have 4 riders crossing over. This is usually one that gets people a bit nervous. Riders, second, third year riders are very experienced. They learn these tricks, walking them over and over again before they start them at slow and speed before building up to what you're seeing today. Boys and girls, if you were looking away, you can now open your eyes again because my riders have finished and they are going to form up and move back in. But as they do, how about we have a huge round of applause there for my Charlie Simon riders? Now the next trick you'll see moving into the arena, I mentioned on our selection course we do a lot of our first year tricks, and this is one of them. Known as the Eagle, one of our first year riders, Corporal Day here. He sets the speed again, but this time, unlike the Angel, he's using his body weight sideways, and very much like a surfer, he's having to use the motorcycle, keeping it upright. As I said, they make it look very easy, but having thrown myself on the floor a number of times trying this, it's not quite as easy as the guys make it look. Now the next trick definitely needs some encouragement, because this trick is known as the standing trick. Corporal Ray's going to stand up and just balance. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's give him a bit of a round of applause there, just to encourage him to stay up. This is only the 3rd time on a display he's done it, so he definitely needs that encouragement to make sure he stands there. And also to make sure Corporal Danny Goodwin's head is still attached at the end of this trick. Ladies and gentlemen, that definitely deserves a round of applause there. Now the next trick, one of the biggest ones we do for you today, 10 men, 1 bike. This trick is known as the tableau. This really shows how hard our bikes have to work. And also where our positives, the Vita White helmets, come into their own. Because you can see the men on the bottom, their heads are bumping along the floor. And on the top there we have Lance Corporal, our current black meat holder. with the easy job of just waving. So to be a white helmet, clearly you need to be able to ride a bike. Not just forwards, that's too easy. Not just backwards, because again, that's too easy. But to be able to hold the car, as being perfectly demonstrated here by Sergeant Arnold. Now once again, Sergeant Arnold has not dropped any jumping balls for a while. And I know how much he fears this trick because of the pressure. So let's add a bit more pressure, shall we? Let's give a bit of round of applause, just to make sure he keeps hold of them as he comes down that final straight. You can see the concentration on his face. But thankfully today he has dropped none. The next trick you can see is known as the Maltese cross. And at this point you're probably thinking reverse riding is easy. But it's very difficult, it's deceptively difficult, because that weight is so high up. Corporal Ascot here, who is a big strong lad, he has to work incredibly hard to steer the motorcycle around. And again, we have to have ultimate courage and trust in each other to make sure we're not dropped on the side. Now I mentioned to you earlier, all our bikes are hand-built by members of the team. They are 17 years old, these motorcycles, so they do get a bit of wear and tear. We do all of our training on them. And the trick you can see in the arena is known as the reverse 40s. We saw it going forward earlier, but clearly by the name, it's going backwards. However, this time he's being controlled by the front man there, Corporal Mackie. And because he has no hands on those controls, he's having to use his superior size and weight to steer the motorcycle around. And on the back we have our beaming smile of Lads of Angel. Now we're a very close team, we spend a huge amount of time together, and as such, we like to share our things, as being perfectly demonstrated here with our two smallest members of the team with the double angel. The quickest double angel I think I've seen in a while. They were on and they were off. Now the next trick is arguably one of the most difficult tricks. Reserved for only the best riders in the team. Notice the colour of the Angel's peak here, and it was his very trick that earned it in the first place, because it is so very difficult. So ladies and gentlemen, I was going to say let's give him some encouragement, but it does really show how difficult and how live this display is. But of course, like my bikes, he's made of rubber and steel. He will get back up and he will carry on. Now let's give him a huge round of applause for our still current black peak holder, Lads of Angel. Now if you look into the far corner where our tricks are coming out, you'll see the biggest one we'll do for you today, known as the 5-5 fan. Now this uses a huge amount of my riders, and 5 bikes, hence the name. But as I mentioned earlier, there are no supports, and it's purely being done and held together with my riders. Should one of them fail to do his job, the thing comes down. So ladies and gentlemen, as they come round, let's give them a bit of a clap, a bit of a wave, show some appreciation for the hard work they're doing in this very, very hot day. Before we move into our closing ride, we like to include this one because it shows that we're not all about motorcycles. We are thinking people as well. Being written here by Corporal Clark, greetings, the book reading. I will give you a clue, it's racing fixtures, it's not many words. However, because once again he has no control on those handlebars, these kind of tricks are reserved for the bigger lads of the team because they have to use their superior size and weight to steer it around, as it is very, very difficult to get traction, especially because they've got no control and no weight on that motorcycle. And now that's going to lead us into our closing ride. My riders are going to crisscross up and down the arena, trying to get again as close as they possibly can before starting some very quick and very close head-to-heads down the arena. As they form up, you'll have a quick rev of the engine to let know when to turn, and the two sticks will go on their separate ways. As always, they are looking over their shoulder at all times to make sure their partner is exactly where he should be before they hit their centre of the arena, and they come screaming down, again trying to get as close as they possibly can. Being led out there by Corporal Hickrow and Corporal Fraser. Now ladies and gentlemen, I can see lots of you have got cameras and photographs, phones. Please send them over to us. We are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, we love to have photos of ourselves. So please send them in. And ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to come and speak to any of us, whether it's about the army, about the White Helmets, or just to come and have a see at our bike, please do come down. We'd love to see you, we'd love to speak to you. We are by our very subtle White Helmets. Now, ladies and gentlemen, my team are going to form up and they're going to say a bit of a thank you to you for being such a fantastic audience. Sergeant Arnold is going to do a traditional military salute and my riders are going to do their very own version. So as they stand up and represent it, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a huge round of applause for the Royal Signals Motorcycle Display Team, the White Helmets. Now, as a final treat before we leave the field, some of my riders are going to attempt some wheelies. Now, I say attempt some wheelies because this could be very hit and miss, and it sometimes doesn't go quite according to plan. Now, there are definitely bragging rights on these wheelies, and some have lost their wheelie license after crashing too many times. However, we're going to have 3 sentences today. In the far corner, we have Lance Corporal Angel. And closest to me, we have Corporal Mackie. So as they step off and come down the arena, ladies and gentlemen, how about we give them a bit of encouragement to get that front wheel up? They set off, they accelerate, they come on those handlebars. And then finally we're going to have my most experienced one doing a seated wheelie. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the rest of the day. We are again at 3:30. We've got some fantastic acts coming up, so please stick around and see some Dallas from the Monster and from the Kangaroo Kids. I hope you have a great day. We have been the Royal Signals Motorcycle Display Team, the White Helmets.